The 38th drama is a story about a man who had everything under control, except the one thing he could never command: his heart. It all begins with collapse. Young Mei Mei's, the lady character, is drowning in pressure. Her family business is falling apart. Debts are piling up faster than she can respond. Investors are walking away. And every door she knocks on closes in her face. Just when it feels like there is no escape, Mr. Gu appears. Yu Long's character. Before we continue, make sure you subscribe to the channel right now and turn on notifications as well so you would know once the full movie is finally released. And you won't miss updates, breakdowns, or exclusive clips about this story and others like it. Now let's get into it. Zhilong is Mr. Gu, the powerful CEO known across the business world as untouchable, cold, calculated, emotionless. A man who treats his business like warfare and relationships like transactions. To him, emotions are unnecessary. Weakness disguised as comfort. And marriage is not love. It is his strategy. So he offers her a contract. A marriage arrangement designed not for romance, but for mutual benefit. She gets financial stability and protection for her collapsing family. He gets stability for his public image and personal pressure from his family to settle down. She has no choice, and so she agrees. From the moment the contract is signed, everything becomes distant. There is no warmth, no affection, only structure. Rules are established immediately. No emotional attachment, no interference in each other's lives, no expectations beyond the agreement, and definitely no love. At first, living together feels like surviving inside silence. Mr. Gu barely acknowledges her presence. He speaks when necessary. He looks at her only when required. To him, she's not a wife. She is a responsibility he agreed to manage. But slowly, that distance begins to shift, not through grand gestures, but through small cracks in his control. A coat placed over her shoulders when she falls asleep on the sofa. A silent intervention when she is humiliated during a business gathering. A moment where his eyes linger on her a second too long before he looks away. She notices all of it, even when he pretends she doesn't. Because beneath his coldness, there is hesitation, and beneath his silence, there is restraint. But Mr. G refuses to accept it. Because in his world, emotions are dangerous, and danger destroys everything he has built. Yet the more time they spend together, the harder it becomes to ignore what is forming between them. She begins to see beyond the CEO, beyond the reputation, beyond the power. She sees a man who was never taught how to love, only how to survive. And he begins to see something in her too. Warmth, cone, a presence that disrupts everything he thought he understood about control. For the first time, his carefully built walls start to feel unstable. But just as that emotional shift begins, the outside world crashes in. Business enemies target her family again. Old betrayals inside his company resurface. And suddenly, the fragile trust they built begins to collapse under pressure. Misunderstandings spread. Distance grows. And love slowly turns into avoidance. In an attempt to protect her, Mr. Jiu makes a decision. He pushes her away, not because he stopped caring, but because he cares too much. He believes separation is safety. But to her, it feels like rejection. So she leaves. And for the first time in his life, Mr. G loses control. Not of a deal, not of an empire, but of her. The one thing he thought he could always manage is gone. And it terrifies him because he realizes something too late. His heart was never in his control to begin with. It belonged to her. In the final stretch, everything unravels. The truth comes out. His coldness was never hatred. It was fear. Is fear of losing her, is fear of becoming weak. Fear of loving someone he might not be able to protect. And when she finally understands the truth, the distance between them already feels impossible to fix. Or at least it should. Because love like this does not end quietly. He comes for her, Not as a CEO, not as a businessman, but as a man who finally stops running from his own heart. And in that moment, the contract means nothing anymore. No rules, no business, no control. Just two people who kept choosing each other even when everything told them not to. And in the end, Mr. Gu finally understands the truth. He was never the one holding his heart. She was. Before you go, subscribe to the channel so you would know once the full movie is finally released. And stay tuned for more emotional story breakdowns like this. Because stories like this don't just end, they stay with you.